time wrong, time wrong. I blow up and then they're all gone, all gone. So sick of saying hold on, hold on. A broken state, shaking the ground beneath, running from everything seems to be the path I lead. And now I'm beating on the floor, wondering why I feel like a ticking time bomb, time bomb. Always seem to get the time wrong, time wrong. I blow up and then they're all gone, all gone. So sick of saying hold on, hold on. I took a shot on hoping I never change. I wonder why I'm always broken, stuck in time just like I'm frozen, frozen. Now I'm slowly thinking, a product of overthinking again. Hold it in and change my breathing, settle down and stop repeating amends. I feel like a ticking time bomb, time bomb. Always seem to get the time wrong, time wrong. I blow up and then they're all gone, all gone. So sick of saying hold on, hold on. I feel like a ticking time bomb.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another installment of Touchline Talk. It's quite dark today outside, so I'm going to pop that light on. I'll tell you what, we'll have some cheeky little blue as well in the background, just because I do have my curtains, I do have my blinds open, but it's a little bit overcast in Manchester today, so we shall do that instead. How are we all doing today? Big up to Mullet Daddy, who's taken over the carousel widget. He's literally 4 out of the 5 faces. Love that from you. Great dog. In today's exciting installment, we are going to discuss a few things. Like we always, go into and off tangents on this sort of show. Like it always turns into like a Q&A towards the end. But it's sort of like overarching topic that I want to maybe focus on today is going to be the whole, not just Savio, I know he's in the thumbnail, but I've just generically titled it the winger debate, just because I also spotted that there was like lots of comments on like Bob's performance, like against Huddersfield, and just like generally as well, like sort of after like the first couple of games, like people are getting a little bit down on Oscar Bob. Like people were very down on Doku before the start of the season. Even at the start of the season, people were very big on Savio last season, but now very down on him. So I thought it might be interesting to explore everything that sort of transpired. What's fair, what's probably in my opinion slightly less fair, and also like under the umbrella also the fact that Savio has now he's not been given a contract extension, but it's happening, isn't it? According to Fabrizio Romano. So it's basically as good as has happened. So we'll touch on that and like what is like the ceiling of Savio. What's the ceiling of all our wide players? Again, it's the winger debate. I want it to be under this sort of big umbrella. So I think we'll start with Savio, but as I say, I want to touch on Bob. I want to touch on Doku, and I also want to touch on Marmoush, because as much as people say he's not a winger, and yeah, he obviously isn't, he's also not a striker, and in City's setup, he's as good as a winger, because he's basically going to start on the left and then drift inside. So for the purposes of a Pep Guardiola squad, Marmoush is a winger for our purposes. So we're going to touch on all 4, I suppose, and we can throw in other players who will play out wide, but might find themselves in other areas, off ball or on ball. So that might encompass, the fullback threat. So that might encompass, the Foden Shirky situation as well, depending on how frisky we're feeling on what we want to touch on in particular. That's the general theme for today's show. Please leave a like on the video as you are coming in. It's free and it helps your boy. We are on the road to 30,000 subscribers. I don't know how many we're on right now. We are on 29,322, which is quite exciting. So let's get closer to that next milestone of 33.3 recurring. Well, 33.3k recurring. That's the next milestone for the LNobbins channel. How are we all doing today? Let me just greet the chat. Watching from South Africa, the third biggest viewership behind the UK and the US. UK and US is basically identical, by the way. So that's interesting. So I know that I'm not the fucking yardstick for the City fan base, but it is just interesting, I think, that, when people try to suggest, immediately going off tangent here, when people try to suggest, City's global following doesn't really exist and they're not actually that large and I don't even believe in it. Again, I'm not saying that I'm the yardstick, but it is interesting that basically this equal number of UK people versus US people who watch this channel. And again, I know I'm not the fucking barometer, but it's just interesting. And big up to South Africa. They are number 3. They're number 3. Don't be surprised if Savio's transfer market value drops to 40 million next summer. That's an interesting point to start this stream off. What would you guys say is Savio's market value? Let me know. Diaz says, how much is he on for a week on the new contract? I don't know any of the details, Diaz, I'm afraid. Hello, Dave. How are you? No worries at all, KJ. I got you. Great dog and great news. Yes, Spartacus, obviously a big Savio fan there. Spoilers, I'm also a Savio fan. I'm actually a fan of all our players, apart from like Calvin Phillips, who's like, I don't know why he's here. I'm a fan of him as a person, sure, but he's like the only player who I don't know why you're here, mate. Apart from that, I like all our players. Until they like give me a reason to not like them, but yeah. New lighting? No. It's the same lighting. Savio should focus on his in-box ability, and he'll be very good, maybe top 3 winger of current time or the Premier League, says Orange Juice. It will definitely touch on Savio's skill set when we get into the Savio section. The Savio Spurs stuff got blown out of proportion. It was literally just, would you mind going to Spurs if they bid this humongous fee? And he said yes. I definitely want to explore that as well, Musty, because I definitely agree with you. A side note, this probably almost definitely puts to bed the whole Rodrigo situation. I see him as our backup wing, and Pep will use him like we used Foden at his young age of 20 or 23, and we'll build him by giving him those minutes. Savio, Doku, Bob and Marmo, shit, we need to Chicas. Sparkus, you cheeky boy. Watching for Melbourne, big up to Melbourne. What's your favourite women's footballer, asks David. I would say, historically, it was Tony Duggan, but I'm going to say... Leah Williamson, big up to her. There's also Steph Horton as well, but yeah, big up to Leah. And many City fans in Pakistan too. Big up, Mohammed, big up. Yes, so here we go. Here are the values. 65, 50. Oh, I know what we can do. Sort of. You know the thing that we use for match ratings? I know that it's not quite exact, but this is what's going to happen. We're going to have audience participation. You're going to put, you can use decimals if you want, a number from 0 to 10. 10 is going to represent £100 million. 7.5 would represent £75 million. 6.5 would represent 65 million. 4 would represent 40 million, and so on and so on. Put in the chat, I think it's this one. No, how do I do it? It's not rate. Is it ratings? It's a ratings that I type to make it work. Musty, can you remember the commands to make the ratings work? I can't remember what it is. I'm so good with my own channel, guys. Musty, can you remember what the command is? I thought it was ratings on, but it's now not working. Don't type yet, guys. Ratings isn't working. Exclamation mark. Ratings. I know what I can do. One sec. This is so professional. This is so professional, guys. Let me have a look. See. Utilities. No, not check-in, not camera. I can't find it. I can't remember what the link is. I can't remember what the command is now. Bastards. It's not ratings. It's not ratings on. Right. If Musty can have a think about that for me, we'll come back to that. No, is it ratings on? Oh, yeah. Well, it's not working in Twitch then. That's a shame. Why wouldn't it be working? Oh, no. I don't think I'm getting the right command. Okay. We'll ignore that then. That has been blown out the window. I can't figure out what the command is, and I've forgotten what it is, and it's not working. So ignore that. Ignore that. I'll just try to get an average in my own brain. We've got 8, 6 months, so 65, 45, 70, 65, 35, 56, 60, 80. So we're looking at around sort of 60, 70-ish. I was just interested. I just wanted to know like what people thought about that. Oh! It was rating space on. Excellent work. Right, okay, guys. Rank. How much is Savio worth? This means £65 million. You can only do 0 to 10, so don't try 12. Yeah? And don't spam, or you're going to get timed out by a moderator. So it's a number from 0 to 10, 10 representing 100 million, 5 representing 50 million. What do you think he is valued at? And as I say, make sure you don't spam, otherwise a moderator will time you out. 1 vote per person. This is democracy, damn it. Yeah? I'm just like interested to see like what people think, what they suppose. It's looking like around 60-ish. It's a little bit lower than I thought, to be fair. I thought we were going to get some 70s, but there you go. We're sort of like rocking around. So this means 62 million right now. That's what people are thinking. 62 million. Make sure it's 0 to 10 if you guys want to do it. And then this is going to segue into, big up to Stephen following the Twitch. This is then going to segue into the conversation, like, you know, does Savio, is his contract warranted? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? That sort of thing, you get me? Do you get what I mean? Oh, yeah, sorry, this is in pounds as well, I guess, because there's a difference. Yeah, that's a good point by Fenway. Yes, if you're thinking about it in dollars, make the number slightly lower, I suppose. What if I believe he's £150 million? Diaz, I don't have an answer for you, mate. I'm sorry. I don't have an answer for you. There we go. Thank you very much for that, Musty. I'm going to make that a hotkey in my thing. Stephen commenting on the Twitch. Love that from you, Stephen. Yeah, so there we go. So this chat reckons that Savio is about... Nice. About 63 million. Specifically, he is 62.7 million. That's according to you guys. I mean, given the fact that Spurs were bidding over, like, was it over 70 for him? That seems about right, to be fair. I do think that Savio has a very high ceiling, so I think that's pretty reasonable, to be honest. I think you guys are doing a pretty decent job there. I think you're doing a pretty good job there. How much would that be in euros? 62 million in euros is about 75, I believe. How much is it? Exactly, I need to find out now. 62 pounds in euros. 71, never mind. The pound is even weaker than I thought. 71 million euros. So yeah, around 70 million. That's sort of vibe. That sort of range. And yeah, if you're working in dollars, thank you, Fenway, for this. So around 80 million USD. And in before someone says, how much is it in yen? So, I'm just gonna close the door. There we go. So I don't disturb Mrs. Nobbins. Okay. Let's explore the... Yeah, don't worry. Ask Nobbins will be coming back next week. I've just been quite busy this week with all the tactical previews and match analysis and Donnarumma analysis video. It's coming back on Monday, don't worry. There will be a tactical preview, by the way, for the Burnley game being uploaded later today, so stay tuned for that. Before we touch on, the whole Savio skill set and blah, 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 make sure we're leaving a like on the video, guys. let's first of all touch on like the background context of like that Spurs transfer saga, shall we? Because I think that lots of people are now down on Savio as a player, and I think nearly all of that stems from the Spurs transfer saga, because people were quite big on Savio last season. It was his first season. He came in at 20 years old. He was objectively our second most creative player behind Kevin De Bruyne last season. And he was very good in that sense. Needed to do much better in front of goal, of course, but hey, it was his first season in a dysfunctional City side, and I felt that he was, I think a Big Steve asked me on like a We Are the South Stand episode, who'd be your young player of the year for City, and I said Savio, and I think that was reasonable. I think that was reasonable. So I think lots of people were quite positive on him and quite confident that he was going to do well. Certainly last season, I think more people preferred Savio to Doku as an example. I think that's reasonable to say. See, our most creative. Oh, Fez. I thought it was Kevin. There you go. Is our most creative. Even more impressive then. Even more impressive. I don't think the Spurs transfer saga is a fair enough reason for people to switch up on him, to be honest. Because the context of that whole saga was that Savio didn't want to go. That's the first thing to say. However, at the same time, the club basically said to him, if we receive an offer that we think is good enough for you, would you be willing to accept it and go? And Savio's perspective was essentially, if you think that would be best, then I'll go. That is the objective reality, whether you want to believe it or not. That's what happened. This idea that Savio was forcing an exit isn't true. It's false. It's fake news. So that is what happened. So I don't accept the whole Spurs thing as a real point. He didn't, Samir. I'm sorry, you don't know what actually happened. I do. So I don't accept it as anything. So if you do believe that he wanted to go based on that, I think you just need to get over it, because it was the fact that the club were actually saying, look, if we get this bid, will you accept it? And he was like, well, I'd rather stay, but if you're saying that you want me to go, then I'll go. So it's one of those things. If you want me to stay, I'll stay. However, if you want me to go, I'm not going to, cause a problem, that sort of thing. So that's what happened. If you want to believe that, if you don't want to believe that, then you do you. But I do know what happened. I will say that much. And I'm very confident in that. I'm in the know in that sense, Spartacus. Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's a fact. And I'm going to approach it as a fact. So get over it, basically, is what I'd say in the first instance. So I'm personally happy that Savio has been given a contract extension and an improved deal, because I think that it was earned based off his performances last season. Yeah, my source is actually this Pep Guardiola poster. Yeah, he as we've just touched on before on this show, he whispers murmurings into my ear. Yeah, he whispers them like that. Hello, Nobbins. Hello, just got some juicy information for you. So that's the situation. So I don't really accept that. Because it's not true. So why would I accept it? Based on his first season, I think that he played well. To be honest with you, we've just outlined that he was. I thought he was the second most creative. You guys are saying he was. I'm going to put that down because I keep dropping it. You guys are actually saying he was the most creative. I think I was basing it off expected assists or expected assists per 90. But in terms of volume of assists, you guys are probably right. In fact, you might be right on expected assists. I don't know. I thought it was Savio, but the Club World Cup. No, the Club World Cup wouldn't have changed anything, would it? No, I don't know. Anyway, because Kevin wasn't here. So I felt he did really well. Based on that. So I'm happy with him getting a contract extension. I'm happy that it hopefully means that it's going to put to bed the whole Rodrigo rumours and Savio going one way and then the other. That we're getting to Doku in a moment, but the fact that Doku started the season very well, hopefully if he's able to keep going like this, we can be happy with the concept of him staying as well. That would be great. That would be great. And I think it also shows like the commitment for Savio, because and it just like evidences my points, doesn't it? If Savio was desperate to go to Spurs, if he was like vying for an exit and forcing one, why would he sign an extension? Why wouldn't he just like wait until January and force a move there, or wait until the summer? The reality is he didn't want to go. And this just provides further evidence to that. So that's a good thing. Now, what is his skill set, and what should we be expecting from Savio, I guess? And as I say, there are some people who've been turned. They've been turned, I think, by a misunderstanding of the Spurs scenario. So, like, what do we expect from Savio? What needs to happen? And this again will be the big umbrella of this winger debate. So, Mrs. Nobbins' car is back from the MOT, which is very lovely. What is his skill set? I think Pep said it like recently in the press conference. He can play off the left, he can play off the right. This is a very good trait to have. You want, in an ideal world, your players would be very versatile, and they would be open to be playing in a number of positions and able to operate in those positions very well. This is why Sterling was such a useful asset for City, because he could play off the right very comfortably. He could play off the left very comfortably as well. Savio is more than capable of playing off the right. He's more than capable of playing off the left as well. He said himself that he can also play in the centre. Now, I've never seen that for City, apart from, I think the only time I've ever seen that really was the Real Madrid away game, where I think Savio was basically played as a second striker, if memory serves. I don't think I'm misremembering that. I think he and Marmoush were like the central players. Like one was a striker. I think so. I'm not 100%, but I think that's what it was. I think that's what it was. So he said he can play in the centre. I don't really know if I see that as his starting position. As his end position, maybe. Maybe. Just on that, very briefly. I'm not having a go at Stephen, by the way, big up to him. But it just made me have a think, and it made me revisit the games, because I think that like Stephen has tweeted that, or maybe it was LB, I don't know. Someone tweeted that like all of Savio's goals for Girona came from the left side last season. I think that's what was said, and that made me, and that surprised. I was like, I don't think that's right. So I looked back at my notes from my Savio analysis video, because they were deep in my D colon drive. Yeah, deep in my colon. That's crazy. And it said, like, at least 4 of those goals I thought were from the right. So I double checked and I rewatched all the goals, and I can confirm that. Yeah, I was like, and I can confirm that 4 of them for Girona actually did come from the right side. Now, all of them did come from the left for City. That is absolutely true. That is absolutely true. But the Girona one's not quite. In fact, I took a note on my phone. This is going to become relevant because I'm going to touch on skill sets and like what can we expect from him at either sides. So I don't know, like, so that's confused me. I don't know where that's come from, because that's not the first time I've heard it, that all of Savio's goals came from the left. I don't know where that's come from. If someone can like educate me on why that's transpired, let me know. But against Atletico Madrid, he started at right wing and he received the ball on the right and he finished from the right. Against Mallorca, the attack started at right wing. He plays a 1-2. He drifts into the centre. He scores there, so that started from the right. Against there were two against Rayo Vallecano. Sorry, and the first one he receives the ball at right wing and finishes at right wing, and then the second one he receives the ball at right wing. He drifts horizontally into the centre, and then he finishes from the centre. So, as I say, I'm not trying to begin a debate of like, you know, what's his best position, because you guys know my thoughts on that, and we'll touch on the positives of both. But I just don't know where it's come from, because it's just not true. It's not true. I wonder if people are looking at like Transfermarkt and going, because Transfermarkt says like where a player start. I actually don't know. See, I was going to say something. I don't actually know if it's true. I believe on Transfermarkt it gives you the position of where the player started. And this is a sincere question to which I do not know the answer. What if a player starts on the left, but then in like the 60th minute they then play it right wing and then they score a hat trick from right wing? Let's say. Transfermarkt would have that as the left, wouldn't it? So that's why it's I never really buy too much into Transfermarkt's positions. I think it can be a helpful starting point, but then like I think for like one of these games, Savio did start off the left, but second half he moved to the right wing, and that's where he got like a goal from. So it can be a helpful guide, but I think that you have to like obviously watch the goals to understand exactly where they came from. And again, this idea that he's only capable of scoring, and I'm building Savio up here, so that he's only capable of scoring in this very specific position, you know, like across the goal, that sort of thing. And that's not true. That like objectively, in fact, like those goals for Girona, even from the left, the majority weren't even those sorts of goals either. Like some of them, he started from the left, but he actually finished and received the ball in the centre of the pitch. Like the one from outside the box that he scored for Girona, he just like picked the ball up in the centre and just like twatted it from the centre as well. So it's he's definitely got more range and potential to his finishing than this idea that he's only capable of this very specific shot, which is a good thing, because I believe he's more than capable of doing shots from different angles as well. But what is Savio right now as a player? And as I say, what are these skill sets that he has? Why do I keep like distinguishing between the two? You get two very different players, left and right, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means that you probably have to base the starting position on what other players are on the pitch. So, for example, if Haaland's not on the pitch, and I know that Savio scored even though Haaland wasn't on the pitch against Huddersfield, but generally speaking, if Haaland is not on the pitch, I don't like Savio left wing personally, because Savio's basically his only... No, that's not fair. His best asset on the left is he stands up his fullback. He's not a Doku sort of left-sided player where he's going to be able to like twist you inside and out and like dribble past you inside and that sort of thing. That's not really his game. If he's standing you up, he's got one thing in his mind. It's run to the byline, it's cross it in. Usually for like a far post floater. Perfect for, you know, Haaland. That's like his bread and butter. We love to see that. So it is definitely a useful asset. It's just a little bit one-dimensional. Now, there's not an inherent problem with it being like more one-dimensional and more predictable. This is the example I always go back to. We all knew what Robin was going to do when he played at right wing and when he cut inside, when he was like standing up his defender. We all know what he's going to do. He's going to cut inside and shoot. Now, just because you know he's going to do that doesn't mean you can stop him. So it's not wrong that a player becomes predictable. That's not inherently a bad thing if it's an action that's consistently repeatable. It's just something to bear in mind, because you have to be a very high level to make it so that your predictability doesn't become a weapon. Does that make sense? He's also, in respect to the finishing, he's also good at shooting across goal. The reason why he's not really able to cut inside and shoot from the left is because the right foot is weak. It's actually gotten a lot better from a creative standpoint. Like his weak foot crossing, actually, I believe it went up massively compared to his Girona season, compared to last season for City. That was a big improvement that I wasn't expecting, and that was really lovely to see. But it didn't really improve from like a finishing perspective, though, necessarily. And I don't know if it ever will get that much better finishing-wise. Off the right, he's a very different sort of player. Whilst he has like now improved the weak foot crosses from like the byline, they're nowhere near as effective. He is still able to do what I would describe as like an inverted cross. So where you are crossing with your left foot from that right side, it's more of like a floater, that sort of thing. They're still a really useful weapon. And whilst he didn't score a goal from the right for City last season, I've seen him do it for Girona, so I know he's capable of this. He's very good at getting into those dangerous positions. And that's reflected in the expected goals data as well. I know lots of people don't like it when I bring up expected goals, but I do think it can be valuable when viewed through the right lens, and I think this is one of those times. He doesn't get into the vast majority of those chances if he's not. What am I saying here? The reason why he's able to get into those chances, is because of his ability to cut in, and then obviously he wants to try to hit it on his left foot. He can't do that off the left side because he can't cut in and shoot with the right foot because it's very, very weak. I know he scored that lovely goal in the Club World Cup with his weak foot, but in general, it's an incredibly weak foot for shooting. His finishing needs to improve. Of course it does. But he's 21. I would be far more concerned. I know Spartacus, yeah. I would be far more concerned if Savio wasn't getting into those positions than getting into those positions and then the finishing not being quite right. Because you can obviously... I feel like that's a better sign. Do you know what I mean? Like, if my striker... I'm talking about strikers because I'm talking about goal scoring right now. If my striker... was not getting into goal-scoring positions, I'm concerned. If they're not generating shots and expected goals, I'm very concerned. Because that means there's a fundamental problem with their movement. That means that they're not reading the chances properly. That means they're not getting into the right zones and the right areas. And that's a fundamental problem that you need to iron out before you can even touch on the goal-scoring. Conversely, if my striker's actually getting into the right positions, and the expected goals is high, but the goals isn't matching it, so long as that's not every single season, you know, like some players, like Darwin, this is the example I always use, Darwin Núñez is just a bad finisher. It doesn't matter how great his positioning is or how many shots he has or whatever, he's always going to underperform because he's simply not good in front of goal. But for like a young player, where it's only, I think it's been, I don't know what the data would have been before Girona, to be fair. For Girona, I think he overperformed in his expected goals for Girona. For City, he's obviously underperformed by a fair margin. I think he should have got like 5 or 6 goals. He only got like 2, whatever it was. I can't recall exactly. I'm hoping that it's going to balance out. That's what I'm saying. It hopefully reverts to the mean. Was it 3? Sorry. That's what I'm hopeful for. We'll see where Pep views him. So far, Savio's played all of his football basically at the left. I know it's technically in the centre against Arsenal, but really off the left. He starts off the left for Huddersfield also. I just don't know if that's going to be... I don't know if that's going to be a position where he's going to get much game time, given how great Doku started the season. But also, Marmoush is coming back in. And again, for the purposes of this conversation, Marmoush is a left winger for City. So it seems unlikely. It seems unlikely that we're going to make him a definite option off the left, more so than the right, let's say, where we're a little bit lighter. Now, I don't know. It's too crowded. That's my instinct, Musty. That's my instinct, definitely. Because what we don't... Hey, look at that. What we don't want to do is like derail Doku's great work. And even if we were going to say, okay, play Doku off the right instead, well, Marmoush still has to play as well, doesn't he? Like a fair amount. So I feel like it's a bit, as Musty says, that's a great term. It's too crowded on that left side. So I wonder, even though he started off the left so far this season, is that going to be the longer term thing? So my prediction will be he'll play more so off the right, and it will be more of like a Savio and Bob vying for that right side. And I guess technically Bernardo, and for me, Shirky in a certain system. But you get what I mean. if we're picking between left and right, I think it would make more sense given Doku and Savio. Sorry, given that Doku and Marmoush are the left-sided players. You've got Savio Bob as the right-sided players. I think that makes sense. Diaz, I'll repeat. I don't know if you were here earlier. For the purposes of this conversation, he's a left winger. Whether that means he's playing as a touchline winger or an inside forward is meaningless. He's playing as a left winger off ball, primarily. That's what's happening in general. He's playing off the left. Ideally, hopefully, with like a left back, O'Reilly or Nori pushing up. That's going to be the main, I believe, that we will see Marmoush using. So yes, for the purposes of this conversation, Doku and Marmoush are the left-sided options. So that's Savio. I'm happy that he's been given an extension again. I think he had a very promising first year. And my prediction would be he's going to play more so off the right. That's going to be my prediction. That's going to be what I think. I think that makes the most sense, given the context of the squad. I think it makes the most sense, given the context of his skill set. And for me, that is his ceiling. That is his highest ceiling position off the right. I don't think it's a coincidence that he has said himself that that's where he views his best position as well. The good news is that you get different benefits depending on the side, and I think it depends on the game as well. But that's Savio. What are we saying about that, guys? What are we saying about that, guys? Savio's here, doesn't matter what happened, he's young, let's get behind him. That's a very good point as well, Herbal. That's a very good point. We should be backing our players, we should be getting behind them for as long as is justified, and absolutely, Savio is nowhere near the point of losing faith in him or giving up on him, considering that he had a good debut season in that dysfunctional City side. So absolutely, we should be backing him because he's a City player. He's committed his future to City as well. He clearly wants to be here, otherwise he wouldn't have committed his future. Let's be, as you say, Herbal, let's back him and be positive about that situation. 40 County United Penny FS. Savio can definitely improve. He missed hitters, hit the post a lot new season. That's the thing as well, Herb. Well, yeah, there were so many games where he was just unlucky. Like, was it an Ipswich game where he just about hit the post? Like, I know the finishing wasn't good enough, but like Foden created a chance for him against Newcastle that he just had to bury, hits it straight at the goalkeeper. It's just about like the final action, and there's no reason why that can't. There's no reason why that can't improve at all. There's no reason why that can't happen. It's very rare that you get like a 20-year-old who is immediately in like in a new league, a new club, in only their second season in Europe in like a top 5 league. It's very rare that you're going to get a finished article in respect of anything, but certainly not finishing. It's something that has to improve. I don't see why it can't improve and get better. Lots of people like touch on like players like lots of people forget that players like Rodrigo, players like Vinicius Jr., they see them now as these clinical forward players, whether that's warranted or not, so that's what people view them as, but they weren't that clinical in their really early seasons. I don't know the exact numbers, but players, as I say, they were not the clinical demons that they turned into. Now, that's not to say that Savio's going to become better than Vinicius Jr. I'm not suggesting that, but I am saying that there is a trend and there is a pattern. There's no reason why that can't be a thing. That's the thing, Editor. Yes, and again, I'd be more concerned if he wasn't getting into the goal-scoring positions. Because if you aren't getting into the goal-scoring positions, then that means what? It means that you're going to have to work on 2 things, doesn't it? You have to work on 2 things, aren't you? Rather than just the one. Yeah, he's a very good defensive player as well. I do agree with that. He's a very intense presser. Needs to get more intelligent at pressing, but he's definitely intense. It could definitely work, but I mean, Doku's been playing so well off the left. I don't know, and he's basically exclusively played off the left for City as well. So I don't know if it's wise to do that. To be honest with you, you know that little, because I think someone asked me on an Ask Nobbins, you know, could have played Doku off the right. He loves that. But like the problem is he loves that little shimmy to the right, doesn't he? He can't do that if he's at right wing. And like that really good move that he did against United, he doesn't do that if he's playing at right wing, that sort of thing. Because he had to start off the left and then drift over there. So he could do that. But he just seems far happier dribbling off the left for City. He seems far happier from a finishing perspective as well. So I wouldn't fix what isn't broken. It's working really well with him playing off that left side. So I just keep it like that. Keep it like that. People have short-term memories, 100%. We'll touch on Bob, absolutely. For the GA nerds, he got 16 last season in a shit City side. I think that is really impressive. Again, really impressive. I'd be looking for him and Doku to sort of get like 20-ish this season. But that is really, really good, to be honest with you. And there's no reason why, if he can't just, as I say, improve that side to his game, become sharper in front of goal, and we all know this needs to happen, there's no reason why he can't hit that sort of like 20 mark. He's on, yeah, I know it was against Huddersfield, he's already had one goal, so that's a thing. Trust the process with Savio, definitely. I like Savio a lot. I like Doku a lot. I like all of our players a lot. As I say, apart from Calvin Phillips, who I'm not really interested in, I like all of our players a lot. LB showed stats. Savio's better on the left. What does... I don't know what better means, Matthew. Do you mean, like, got most of his goals from? If so, we have touched on that Girona point. And if it was... let me know. Was transfer marked used by any chance, Matthew? That might explain my earlier question. Let me know, though, please. That'd be very useful. What's his pass accuracy? Must he shut up? You know who's not getting a goal scoring position? That's worrying me a bit. Bob says Musty. We will definitely touch on Bob. Definitely. Definitely. Bob has looked off pace since the Spurs game. So Sachin? Yeah, we'll touch. Maybe we can pivot to Bob next. Do you think this season we'll ever have a midfield of Rodri, Foden, Marmoush? I don't think so, Ape. I don't think, as much as I like Marmoush, I don't think he's capable of like playing as like a... I don't think he's capable of playing as a... that deep in the midfield. I don't think that his first touch is clean enough to play as like a number 10 either. I don't see it. It was something that I flagged in my analysis video, that his first touch isn't particularly good, and I think we've seen that this season. So I don't want him to be playing in the midfield, inside forward or second striker for me. Doku 10 goals, 10 assists is possible. Definitely. That's a thing. Watching from South. Big up to South Africa. Big up. First, we're doing a lot of dog work this season, running around. He seems to do more defensive work than Ryan does. Maybe one game of him. Rodri Marmoush says AP. Again, it's just... I don't doubt the Rodri Foden connection. In fact, I'd be up for Foden to like be playing in almost like a double pivot with Rodri. That's how good I think he can be defensively in midfield. It's not the Foden concern I have, it's the Marmoush concern with that one for me. Yeah, get the likes up, guys. Come on, listen to Thunder Road. He's a moderator. He has the power to ban you and time you out, yeah? Or why would you be upsetting Thunder Road? Leave a like. Come on. We can talk... It's mainly about Wingers Ultimate, but let me know what you want to discuss. Nobbins is a happy clapper and has a Donna and McGavin Phillips gender, this guy. It's so funny because, like, sometimes... One day I'm a happy clapper, one day I'm like, overly negative, and it's like... It's almost as if I am me. It's almost as if I am me. How weird. Stephen, Stephen's commenting in the Twitch, and we're not live on Twitch, mate. I want to see Roger and Nico G play together. Stephen, come back to the YouTube, mate. I'm not on Twitch right now. Playing for Girona with a target minus G8 was better. Well, I would be very surprised if his goals and assists weren't better for Girona, because he started nearly every single game off the left. What's interesting is that 40% of his goals actually came from the right, which is interesting, I think. Do I still like Kovacic? I mean, I don't dislike him, but he's definitely like the... If we're not including Calvin Phillips, he's definitely the player that I like the least. And that's not a dig. It's just because I don't really get why he's still here. That sounds really harsh. I just think he's surplus to requirements. Musa says he has a use. I'd rather just get rid of him and... I'd rather just get rid of him, like sign like an actual player. I don't know, that sounds really mean, but I'm just not interested in Kovacic. If Reinders is the Gundogan replacement, then Nico is the Kova replacement. So I don't really get what Kova's purpose is right now. Unless there's a mass injury crisis, I don't want him to start any game. I wouldn't want him to start any game. I'd rather everyone start instead of him. Because his positions can be the 6 or the 8, can't they? Well, he shouldn't play over Rodri. He shouldn't play over Nico. So in the 8, well, he shouldn't play over Nico. And he shouldn't play over Reinders. And he shouldn't play over Bernardo. And he shouldn't play over Foden. And he shouldn't play over Lewis. And he shouldn't play over O'Reilly. I can name 6 8s that I would rather play over him, to be honest with you. I just don't... Outside of an injury crisis, I wouldn't really be giving him any minutes. And that sounds really mean. But... that's where I'm at. He's not going to be here next season. If he's here next season, that's weird. It's really weird if he's here next season. Can you try something? Sure. Yeah. Savio, best option as a touchline winger on the left and the Haaland's up front and Ake Gvardiol are the left backs. I do agree with that, Fenway, yes. He's definitely our best pure touchline winger. I think I definitely would agree with that. Yeah. I want to win the League Cup as well, but I don't want Kova to start over like O'Reilly in midfield or Lewis in midfield. You know? Or Nico. Or Reinders. Or Foden. You get me? He is definitely Sachin, definitely. I still think that we'll see his best games when Rodri's on the pitch as well. Because I still think that he needs to start more... He needs to... If he doesn't start games with Rodri, then I don't see him getting enough starts this season, sorry. Apart from...
POV, Nobbins when Alvarez missed a winning goal in 23-24, he despised Julian.
Shut up, Musty. To be fair, he did miss... Oh, yeah, I knew it was going to work, Musty. Yeah. To be fair, he did miss a sitter in the last minute of the FA Cup final. And that did piss me off, to be honest, because Foden slipped him in, lovely ball through the middle, and then he just bottled the finish, and that would have been 2-2. And no, I didn't hate Julian, but I did hate him as a midfielder. I'll back that. I did hate him as a midfielder because he was a shit midfielder. I don't want Kova to start while rotation, however, I don't know. I just think he can provide some experience in the cups. Yeah, maybe but maybe. I'd just rather play let's say like it's a midfield 3 for argument's sake, and it's a cup game. Let's take Swansea. I would rather it be Nico, Lewis, and then Reinders or Foden or Nico O'Reilly, actually, maybe. Yeah, like Nico, Rico. I'd rather it be something like that. Or if that's too young for you, Nico O'Reilly and Foden. I don't know. I'd just rather it be like that. Hello, Yoshko Guardiola. How are you? Okay, yeah, so that was Savio. We touched on Savio a lot there. I think that's all. Nico Phillips, Nico. I think we've covered our bases there. He's a player who can play off the left. He can play off the right. I'm happy that he's got the extension, and we should all, whatever you think of Savio, and I don't know why you would be down on him. We should be backing him because he had a good first season, and you can't judge him off the 20 minutes that he had before Huddersfield because it's garbage time or whatever. He struggled in the first half against Huddersfield. I think basically everyone did apart from like Mukasa and Foden. But second half looked a little bit better. Obviously got his goal as well. So back, Savio. Shut up, Toby. I believe he'll come good again. I think that he will earn this contract definitely. And I hope that I still believe his ceiling is off the right, and I'm hopeful that he's able to do that. But wherever he plays, I'm just very hopeful that that'll be a thing. Savio needed that goal, says Naveen. I think so, yeah. He kissed the badge as well. He kissed the badge as well. Ah, I love that. Shall we talk about Bob next? Because some people were asking about Bob, so I think that's the thing to do. And as I say, I do want to touch on all of our wide players today. The Bob one's interesting. I think people are overreacting with Bob, personally. I'm not saying you can't be concerned about a performance, but it's almost like some people have already decided to give up on him, and that's interesting. I have seen that in some places. I've seen it in my chat. I've seen it on the TL as well. And I'm very confused. Because this is a player who started the season well. And he's coming off a season where he had a broken leg. Was it a broken leg? Or a broken foot? I think it was a broken leg. Yeah, I think it was a broken leg. So he missed all of last season. And the other thing that people aren't really talking about, that they should be talking about, is that Bob is not a right winger either. It was a broken leg, thank you. Bob is being played out of position. That's the thing to note. And I think that context isn't really being accounted for either. He's not a right winger. Against Huddersfield, he was like being doubled up on a number of times. He's not that sort of player necessarily. Now, he does have the capability to go past defenders like that, like in a 1v1 sort of situation. But he's not this phenomenal touchline wide player who will be able to like dribble past his man nearly every single time, like Doku can do, or Savio can do in some instances. He's actually far more of an inside player, an interior. Broken Marcus. So whenever he like plays at like purely right wing this season, we have to, I think, give him some slack, to be honest. I don't care where he played in the academy, Jeremy Doku. I don't give a fuck where he played in the academy. I'm telling you right now, he's an interior player and an inside player. He's closer to a number 10 than a right winger. I don't give a toss where he's played the vast majority of his football. That is what he is as a footballer. That is what his skill set is. I don't care where he plays for Norway. That is what he is as a player. We will see the best performances from Bob when he's given more access to the centre of the pitch as well. And that doesn't mean that he can't start off the right and then drift into the centre. In fact, I think that would be his best position, to be honest, starting off the right and then drifting into the centre. It's also worth noting he's very good off ball. He's a fantastic presser as well. That's always worthwhile in a Guardiola side. And I think with Bob, it's just about patience. That's all. It's a good point, AP. He's not going to play in the midfield anytime soon because we still need Foden to be playing there on a more consistent basis, and he's not better than Foden, obviously. So he probably will get the vast majority of his game out on the right, like Foden did in his first seasons. He got the vast majority of his football on the wings. But I'm going to have patience because I like Bob. I think he's a good player. I'm a bit surprised he's played as much football as he has. I'll say that much. I know that Shirky's now injured. I really thought it was going to be between him and Shirky. So when I saw Shirky and Bob starting against Spurs, I was very confused. Very confused. Toby, shut up. Because in my head, you have to pick between one or the other. And I still believe that. And I think it didn't really work against Spurs. So I'm going to be very patient with Bob, given the context of his injury, given the context of what I know I know what his skill set is, sorry. I was going to say what I know he is as a player, but the sample size isn't quite there for me to be uber confident of like what his like ceiling is, that sort of thing. I'm very confident of what his skill set is, and his skill set is far more suited to the center of the pitch. As you guys have alluded to, though, we have a lot of very good players in the center of the pitch. We have Foden, who are more advanced, who can play more advanced. Like, we have Foden and Shirky, obviously. They should be the go-to offensive pairing. What I would like to see a bit more, especially given that, you know, Kusanov is out for the next few games, if Bob does start off the right, I would like to see Nunes play it, Nunes pushing up, and then Bob given that access to the centre. I think that you'll see the best version of Bob there. That's what I think, anyway. And then you can utilise his dribbling in the inside channels. But that's interesting, Matthew. He'll be haul and cover. He can also play as a false nine. Like, his first touch is very clean and is very good. And his link-up is very good. So that's a decent point as well, to be honest with you. So I'm not concerned about Bob. I'm not concerned at all. I did have fears last season, which I voiced, that people would turn on him. I'm not saying anyone's turned on him yet. Well, I have seen some people turn on him, but I'm not saying anyone here has turned on him yet, because it's very valid to have concerns following the injury. But I am just a bit, as I said, a bit concerned for Bob that if he's not able to get like the sharpness quickly, then basically people will give up on him and say that he should like be sold and gone. And that upsets me. I do think there's a very, very good player in there with a very high ceiling. And I knew it would happen because it happened to like McAtee last season, it happened to De Bruyne, it happened to Foden. If Echeverri played more minutes, it would have happened to him as well. It happened to Shirky. It happens to all of them. What worries me is he doesn't get into goal-scoring opportunities as much as I'd like. I do agree, Musty. I do agree. Once again, I don't know enough about him. Like, is he going to be able to add that string to his bow? It's such early days for him. Faisal, tell me more, because I went away and had a think about this, and I think I couldn't find an answer unless you dropped Reinders. That was my conclusion, basically. But let me know, Faisal. Tell me more. Tell me more, tell me more. We have a fully fit squad after October, which 2-3 will be left at home. Ortega, Bettinelli, Phillips don't count. They're already not in the squads. Fully fit squad after October. Which? Oh, you mean like won't even make the bench? If everyone's, I guess if well, at least one centre back. If Kusanov's going to be mainly used as a right back, then I was going to say not a centre back. But if he's being used as a centre back, then I guess a centre back. It would have to be someone like Lewis, wouldn't it? You'd expect, or because it can't be a player who can come on and make an impact. I'm thinking one of the defenders must, yeah, one of Ake or Stones, probably Ake. It can't be a player who you can bring on to make an impact. So it can never be Doku. It can never be Savio. I don't think it can be Bob either. I'm not being funny, but you don't bring on Rico Lewis to make an impact. You can bring him on to like change the setup or as like an option, but he's not like that sort of impact player, is he? In the same way. So maybe Rico, probably Ake. Nunes could be an option, but that would surprise me a little bit. Yeah. It's a good point from Samir. Yeah, chances are we're going to pick up loads more injuries. I'm not sure Bob can play as a false nine in the current setup where we need more physical presence up front. We're struggling in the build-up, says Fenway. Interesting point. I'd like to think he can, but I get you, definitely. Bob's overrated, but still a good player. I don't know how he's rated, to be fair. I like him personally. All I can really do is base off what I think of him as a player, and I like him as a player. Now, I don't think that he should be our starting. I don't think he should be starting for City outside of injuries, because I believe Shirky should be playing there. But I do think that he's a very viable option for City as a squad player right now. And maybe he can develop into that starter. That's where I rate him personally. Yoshko and Nico can play left back. Stones Diaz, Yoshko, Kasaf play centre backs. There's no real need for Ake. It's a good point, yes. It's a very good point. Okay, so in possession, back three of Gvardiol, Diaz, Kusanov. 2 of Rodri Reinders. Doku holds the width on the left, Nunes on the right. Foden, Shirky, middle, Haaland up top. Why did I not like this then? Why did I not? Is there a reason why I didn't like that? 2 of Rodri Reinders. So it's a 3-2-2-3. Ah, I know why I don't like it. There's no Ait Nori. That's why I don't like that team. I was looking at it, thinking like, because as I say, I looked at the team for like an hour. I was like, can I make it work? And I couldn't make it work. And the reason why is because I want Ait Nori in the team. I think that he has to play if he's fit. I mean, O'Reilly's doing really well, but at the time, I don't hate it. But I do want Ait Nori on the pitch. That was one of my non-negotiables in my head. I was like, okay, I want Foden and Shirky in this 3-2, but I also want Reinders. I also want Ait Nori. Blah, 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 blah. I don't dislike the team fire, so it's definitely an option, but the reason why I don't like it is because there is no Ait Nori. Pep will extend, says Lucas. Bold. FIFA shall have 11 subs on the bench and 6 subs per game, says Matthew. Jesus, that's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. Bob got so much hype in preseason last year, then absence made the heart grow stronger and all that, says Fenway. That's a very good point. Indeed. It's one of those, I'm not saying Bob is this sort of player, but we saw it last year where like Foden was shit in the eyes of some people. And it was like, oh, get McAtee and he'll sort it out. And then McAtee was also like not that impressive outside of like that one cameo appearance. Like, oh well, get De Bruyne back in, and then like De Bruyne wasn't playing that well. Oh, get De Bruyne out. Get this 19-year-old in. Bruh. Yeah, so get 12 players on the pitch. Easy mode. You get me. Adam stranded on the wing. He has to come inside. And that's why, Johnny, big up to you, Johnny, by the way. I still would have Doku starting off the left, but it's with the license to rotate with whoever the left back is and still access the centre. And that's where you need Ait Nori or can't speak, Ait Nori or O'Reilly. That's probably what you need to make that happen. Because even though I want Doku off the left wing, and I still want him sometimes to be on the touchline, I don't want him to be like, hugging it entirely. He still does need to be able to drift inside and attack. That's where he can do some damage. You get me? Exactly, Fenway. It's tricky. And this is why I keep coming back to, even though I prefer the 3-2 base, that is my preferred style. Like, if you could say, like, spoilers for Football Manager, I'm going to be playing in possession 3-2-2-3. Tell that right now. But the reason why I'm not, and the reason why I didn't predict it for this season, is because I looked at the makeup of our squad, and it just seemed to me that a 2-3 made a lot more sense. So even though I don't prefer that, I do still think a 2-3 is... That's what I'm thinking, Faisal. I do still think the 2-3-5 or the 2-3 fucking 2-3, whatever you want to call it. I'll just call it 2-3-5 for argument's sake. I do think that suits our players better. Even though it's not my preferred shape, I think it suits our players better, and I'd still back us to do that. And that is the easiest way to get Foden and, just like going back to the question someone asked earlier, that's the easiest way to get Foden and Shirky into the same side without diminishing your off-ball solidity. You play your Shirky right wing off-ball, you play an attacking right back, he false winger Shirky, essentially. Basically, you play Shirky how Foden was played when he played off the right in the 23-24 year. That's basically how you do it. You have a false winger off that right side. Easy mode. Easy mode. Can Shirky play the left side of 10? He can. I've seen him do it. But I have seen his better games, but there's more of a sample size off the right, so maybe that's not fair. He can do it because he's both-footed. So it's not a problem for him. He can play anywhere. You can play right wing if you want him. You can play left wing if you really want him to. I've seen him play left wing. He can do it. He can play out and out right wing as well. I wouldn't recommend it, but he can definitely play left 10 or right 10 or central, whatever. You get me? So he could do both. And I don't think it has to, because whenever we're having these conversations, like formations are a very helpful guide for me personally. I know lots of people don't like them. I personally like them as a template. But just because, like, in my side, let's say I'm playing Foden left 10, Shirky right 10 for argument's sake, that doesn't mean they can't rotate and switch, because this is how football works, isn't it? Like, players aren't robots, and they don't go, I can only stay in this particular zone, or I'll get electrocuted like Battle Royale. No, like Doku didn't score his goal from left wing. Sorry, Doku didn't get his assist from left wing against United. He started from the left, he drifted over to the right half space. Players can rotate and players can move around. So whilst I always say this player there, it doesn't mean that they can't switch and be the best of both worlds. You get me? So yes, he definitely can, Musty, 100%. Shirky better fit for false 9, says Fenway. I wouldn't necessarily disagree, because he's a very lovely small space operator. Can he play right back? Okay, sadly he can't play right back. Can we do false wing with Shirky on the left? You can, but I want Doku to start now. So you can do that. You can do that, definitely. And we did that a lot with Foden as well. And I'm now going to claim credit for our Premier League title win of 23-24. Yeah? That's right. The narcissism has reached new levels, chat. It's reached new levels, because in my Foden, Kevin De Bruyne video, can they both play midfield with one another? I suggested, let's push up Joško Gvardiol to left wing and get Foden into the left half space and Kevin De Bruyne off that right side. And that's exactly what happened, and we won the fucking title. So I'm taking... Where's my fucking medal? Yeah? Where's my mention on Wikipedia? I know you watched that video, Pep. He didn't watch the video. I know you copy me, yeah? You're jealous. You're jealous of me. It's obviously a joke. But I was happy that I suggested that and it actually came to be. Exactly, Samir, exactly. Coincidence that he did that literally the next game after against Newcastle? I don't bloody think so. I don't think so. Exactly, Uzi, exactly. Where's my medal? Where is it? And I called Núñez right back, yeah? I've got far more wrong than I got right. I don't care. I don't care. I'm calling it. Shirky can be his best. I totally agree, Herbal. Definitely agree. Remember when Foden played right wing and drifted? De Bruyne played a bit deeper so that him and Phil don't step onto one another. I see that with Foden and Shirky too. You don't want them occupying the same space. Definitely, AP, definitely. And they don't have to step on each other's toes like Foden and Shirky, just because you can have 2 10s. Or you can have 1 8 and 1 10. Like, we know that Foden can play 8. It's not a problem. It's all good. Yeah, get the lights up, guys. We want to get to 150. 150 likes. Get it up, yeah. Listen to the mods. Listen to Little Nobbins. Listen to actual Nobbins. Yeah, Doku has to play. He has to, simply. That's my boy. I'm getting a Domino's later. Are you jealous? Of course I am, Harry. Oh, no, to be fair, Domino's is overpriced. But I'm jealous of the concept of takeaway pizza, 100%. I'm being a good boy right now, and I'm on a diet. Yeah? I'm on a diet. So, we're cutting right now. So I'm not allowed a lot of calories. Foden 23-24. Oh, literally won us the title. Literally won us the title. I can't have that as a thing. You know what I mean? I've got to have the lad. I tell you what we've seen so far. Oh, that's quite cheap. It's a big discount on, because Domino's is normally like insanely priced. Yeah, I've got to pick the lad who won us the player of the season. I will say this: I'm low key. The past like week of Foden, I think might be a bit better than a lot of his player of the year performances. I don't know if that's controversial, but I think I prefer this Foden. I prefer what I've seen from that past week. I don't know if that's controversial, but I'm saying it quietly, just in case it is. What do you guys think? Is that a hot take, or is that legit? Is that a hot take, or is that legit? I think that he's a far more... I just think it's because he's offering everything. Okay, it's not a hot take. Okay, I'm gonna stop whistling. I'm gonna stop whispering now. I'm gonna shout it. Yeah. The past week of Phil Foden has been better than his player of the year. So you guys say it's not a hot take, so we're gonna allow it. It's just because he's becoming more involved. Yeah, exactly. This is it. It's the touches, it's the dropping deep, it's being involved in every single phase of play, not just because we know that Foden is a fantastic connector in the final third, but he's so much more than that. He can be so much more than that. I know I did say it, that's why I prefaced it, Baraka, by saying only the week. Can I whistle it as well? I can't whistle and speak at the same time, that's crazy. I prefer creative Foden than a full-blown goal-scoring one. And the beauty is, Johnny, that you can have both. You can have both. He's still been box crashing, and he's still been scoring from outside the box and being a threat therein. I think you can have the best of both worlds in the sort of areas he's taken up. In it, Dave, in it. And even he played at right wing back, basically, and he was still really good. Oh. By the way, on my FPL, I always do this. I always try to take it seriously like the first week or two, and then I just stop. I looked at my FPL team. I had to make 5 transfers. Thankfully, they were all free because I've got so many injured players. I had Palmer. I had Ait-Nouri. I had an injured striker. I had another injured forward, I think. And I had Wirtz, who I had to, have to get him out. He's basically playing like he's injured in respect of FPL terms. So, I get 2 triple captains. I'm going to... Oh, it's Burnley tomorrow. Do I triple captain Haaland or Palmer? Haaland or Foden? Savin used to play like Maris as Adrian. Yeah, so I got a bit sidetracked there, but I think it was still a fun discussion to have. It was still a fun discussion to have on Bob. So that's Bob. Small sample size, and definitely agree, Herbal, 100%. I tweeted about that. Totally agree with you. And I've still got faith in Bob. I've still got faith in him. Now. No, in it, Pyrex. I had Semenyo, and for whatever reason, I swapped him out for Mbumo before a ball was kicked. I don't know why I did that. I should back myself. But I was a coward. And I didn't back my own take. It's not good enough for me. Not good enough. Doku. Let's touch on Doku. Because he's had a lovely start. He's had a lovely... he struggled at the start, but then he's sort of come into it the past few games or so. I thought I heard my cat. Wait, what's this? On Foden. Wait, why have you put it in the Twitch, Musty? All of us know what Foden can do. I can't see it now. It's gone. Why did you put that in the Twitch, you little half-wit? What are you doing? On Phil Foden. He wants to play every game because he's happy, and that's the sign. All of us know what Phil can do. No pressure. We want him to enjoy football. His physical condition is outstanding. That's really good. Recovery time and his mind is ready. He can play every 3 days with high intensity. Against Huddersfield, he was really good. Does that basically tell us he's starting against Burnley? Does that basically tell us that? Is that a thing? Essentially, that would be 5 starts in a row, which doesn't sound that impressive, but it is impressive when you consider how he just came back from injury and then got injured again immediately. And all the games have come pretty quickly, and they've all been very... What's it? Big up to you, Jimmy. Oh, why is your... There we go. I don't know why my printer thing didn't happen, but there we go. Thank you so much, mate. What's happening with my camera? Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much, Jimmy, for renewing your membership. Why didn't my printer activate? What's that all about, huh? What's going on? Sort it out, mate. Sort it out. Don't know what's going on there. Your random footballer is Adrian. So yeah, I don't know how you feel about that, but it's a thing. Yeah, likes up. Thank you so much. 18 months. It's insane. Thank you so much, Jimmy. And a Fnatic Ultra at that. A Fnatic Ultra. And literally all I had to do, I remember this. Like, Jimmy just said, you know, I would pay even more for this membership. I was like, well, you know, there is a higher tier. You can actually do the £5 tier. And it was like, okay, I'll do it. Love that from Jimmy. Big up to you, mate. Thank you so much for your support of the channel, as always. I think he will start. Yes, definitely. Last time he played 3 in a row was last December. Yeah, that's mad. And he's already done 4 in a row. He's already done 4 in a row, hasn't he? Because he played against United. He started against Napoli. Started against United. Started against Napoli. Started against Arsenal. Started against Huddersfield. So this is going to be 5, which is really good to see. And then he needs to start against Monaco as well. So it's good that Pep is confirming that. It's very good that Pep is confirming that. That is a very lovely thing that has happened. So yeah, what was I doing now? What was I doing now? Doku. Doku. Speaking of Burnley, as Ken Boyce just raised, Doku has to start against Burnley. Do you guys remember? Do you guys remember who Burnley are going to be playing at right back? Can you imagine the fun? I might triple captain Doku. That I don't have Doku in my team. That might be a fun thing to do. It's Doku up against Kyle Walker. That's going to be very, very fun. It's going to be very, very fun, given the form that he's on anyway. Yeah, exactly.
Doku versus Walker.
Exactly. It's going to be a beautiful time. It's going to be a massacre. That's my prediction. It's going to be a massacre. It's going to be a beautiful time. I'm very happy with Doku. I'm very happy with how he's been performing. He's sort of illustrating what people have been asking for. Like, it's the ability to find his man in that final action, that sort of thing. I've been so happy with him in that sense. Even if Doku isn't like contributing goals and assists directly, he's still more than capable of dragging City up the pitch. Like that moment against Arsenal where he started in his own box and City are desperate to have any territory, and he dragged us up the pitch to the halfway line and then created that amazing chance where Haaland should have played it to Foden, for example. He's so strong. He seems locked in and confident now as well. There's clearly... I don't know if it's just to do with greater understanding, or I think this is probably more likely, more options are being provided for him. So last season, too often, it was basically Doku getting to a decent position, and then his only realistic option is like Haaland at the back post. And that's it. And there was like no one really attacking the near post, and there was no one like crashing the box late on and like floating around the edge of the box either. I don't think we've yet seen Reinders and Doku link up properly yet, but I think that Reinders will be a big piece of that puzzle. We've already seen Foden being a piece of that as well. Again, if you give Doku runners, he's going to find them. He's going to find the lads. So that's a really good thing to see. AP mentions there's a friendship between Foden and Savio. Well, there's definitely, I don't know if it's a friendship, but there's certainly a relationship and a chemistry between Foden and Doku as well. Foden providing that box crashing as he did against United, for example. So long may that continue off that left side. And he's become, I mean, it sort of goes to, yeah, it definitely must, yeah. My main, no, it's not a hot take at all. Objectively, it's correct. The only issue I had with like when people like saying that we need to be playing Doku over Grealish in their first season, I still back this, is that Doku would lose the ball too often in like a situation where it wasn't there to be lost, and Grealish's decision making was a lot better. Doku is massively kicked on since then, and that's what I was going to say. It goes to how Doku is viewed now. I know it's only been like a couple of weeks. He was rested against Huddersfield. Now, if that game happened last season, Doku probably starts that game, at least on the bench, but probably starts the game. The fact that he's been absolutely rested, along with Rodri and Haaland and Gvardiol, I think does speak volumes as to like what his current standing is in the setup. Before you say, but Nobbins, Foden started. Now, to be fair, that's fair. But Foden asked to start. He did ask to start because he's feeling himself. He's in the zone. He's in the vibe. He's in the groove. So that's really good to see as well, the faith and the confidence that's clearly been placed in him. What do you think has changed with Doku mainly? I think the main thing is twofold, I'm going to say. First of all, he's getting more access to and license to drift into the centre and rotate with his left back / left side of midfield player. That's the first thing I would say. The second thing I would say is options, which is what I alluded to before. Because there were still some really good moments that Doku did last year. This is the example. This is the best example I give. Liverpool at the Etihad. Doku destroyed Trent. Like, he cooked him and beyond belief. Every single time. Going to a great position. And then nothing happened. And people blamed Doku for that. But I think it's more nuanced than that. Foden was his only option in the box because Foden played false nine that day. And Foden was being marked by Van Dijk and Konate. There was nothing Doku could do. No one was like attacking the far post, no one was attacking the near post, no one was crashing deep. Foden was occupying the defenders as best he could. He wasn't able to, yeah, exactly, Musty. He wasn't able to do any, he wasn't going to win an aerial against Konate and Van Dijk. He wasn't going to win anything against them. He was basically being Haaland in that situation. So I think it's twofold. It's having more options and it's having more freedom. I'm not going to say freedom, that's not the right term. More license to access the centre. I would say that, personally. That's what I would go to. I think Musty says decision making. That could definitely be a thing as well. I would pluck for those two. That's what I would say. That's what I would say. And there are also probably intangibles as well, like non-tangible, sorry. Like confidence, mindset that I can't really quantify. Jayworth, thank you so much for supporting your boy. You're already a beautiful member, but thanks so much for that. I can't get over how beautiful this chat is, man. I'm so impressed. Did you guys notice, by the way? Have you guys noticed? Members get a glowy name. Not only do you get your little rat badge, you get a glowy name. I decided against the borders because I thought it would look a bit too messy, but that's like a cute little thing that members get. You get a little glowy name as well. That's just like another little perk. I have not Slender no. My printer camera's not working. That's a bit upsetting. I love Doc. Oh, Fenway, I love that. That was so good. That was so good. That was priceless. When he went off, we lost an outlet. He's such a good outlet. He's so strong. He's so bulky. He's got the bum. He has the booty. Yeah? He has the stocky frame. He has the physicality. Someone asked, do I have concerns about Marmouche or what happens to Marmouche? It's going to be interesting. It is going to be interesting. There is definitely a world where you can just play Doku and Marmoush together. The problem with that is, I think the only game where I can remember where Doku played off the left, where Doku played left wing, and Marmoush played like off the left, was the Brighton game, I think, and Marmoush got a goal that day. Every other time it's happened, you've had Marmoush either as a striker, where Haaland's not on the pitch, or you've had him come off the right, and we know that Marmoush is far less effective off the right. So it can definitely happen. You would forego an attacking left back, probably, if you want Haaland on the pitch as well. But it could work with both of them on the pitch at the same time. Don't know if it's optimal, but it could happen. Could happen. And you could play Doku off the right, I guess, but why would I move him? Why would I move him? So yeah, I guess it's sort of good that he should be worried, because with Doku, it's not like you're dealing with a player who sort of like has to start, if that makes sense. Do you get me? Like, Doku wasn't signed to, you are an immediate starter on starting wages and you're a superstar player. So the relationship between Doku and Marmoush, if we are saying that is the case, and I think for City we are, it's a far more easier relationship to balance rather than having like two star players who have to do that. So I think that's a thing, if you get me. Whereas if there's one, then it's like, okay, you are that sort of player, but earn it. So yeah, I do think he's that sort of player, Mustard, but it's like, earn it, for sure. And that is a valid conversation to have and a valid starting point, because it's not like, even if you earn it, well, we've still got this star player anyway, so we're in like a catch-22 sort of situation. Thank you so much, Jay Worth. God, my throat is dying today, and I don't know why. I'm running out of water. I'm yapping too much. Thoughts on City no longer being a possession-only team, learning to play without the ball in different game states. Personally, I love it, says Jay Worth. It's very good to know that we can play like this. However, City are still definitely a possession-based side, and there is no doubt that Pep Guardiola wants to be that. He did not want to play like he did against Arsenal. He said as much. He doesn't want to be playing this style of football. It's good to know that we can play like that in a pinch, but expect basically every single game, I would say, to be more so focused on control and possession. I'm very convinced of that. Like, again, Pep said it himself. There's no way that I'm buying that Pep is going to sack off his whole fundamental philosophy. But again, it's great to know that we can do that. 100% Jayworth. 100% that we can do that. Definitely, AP, definitely. They do, Musty, yes. Moderators do have a sword on YouTube. Yes, we've amended that too. Definitely Fenway. Definitely. He's, how old is he? 23? So he came in at 21 years old, was he? He's young. He's young. It makes sense that he's going to get better. It makes sense. I don't say Holland. I say Holland. There's no D. Norwegian pronunciation. We love that, Thunder Road. This is really interesting. Because Pep played 4-4-2 against Arsenal. Again, was that a one-game thing? Was that a one-game thing? Or is he going to be a bit more flexible this year? Is he locked into his 4-1-4-1 / 4-3-3? Or are we going to see a return to the 4-4-2? I don't know. I sort of hope not, because you guys know, I have my concerns with Shirky in a 4-4-2. I'm very concerned as to where Shirky starts in a 4-4-2. You saw the level of, I'm not saying Shirky's not lazy. He's not lazy. But you saw the level of defensive work that Foden had to put in when he played at right midfield in that 4-4-2. Shirky ain't doing that shit. Nor should he have to do that shit. And I don't want him to lead the press either with Haaland up top. So I don't know if I like it for Shirky's sake. And I want Shirky in the side. I want him starting. I think he starts in our best team. You know, on that left side needs Rodrigo. If next time we lose a game, no to Rodrigo. Yeah, no to Rodrigo. Look at how sick Doku's been. Shut the fuck up. Pissing me off. Don't we all, Akash? Don't we all? Yeah, Musty. Hey, we win it 4 times in a row. He's not wrong. Do I think Doku, Marmish, Savio on the wing is elite team comparing to teams having Yamal, Kvara, Dembele, Barcola, Vinny, and Mbappe? Well, most of those aren't in our league, so I wouldn't worry about them. For real, for real. There's no reason why like Doku can't become elite. I'm not being funny, but like Doku's probably been better than like Vinicius Junior to start this season, hasn't he? I've not I'm gonna take that statement back. I've not watched nearly enough Real Madrid. So I take that statement back immediately. I just said something for the sake of saying it, and I don't know why. I should have just gone, I don't know. I felt like I had to say something, and you should never do that, guys. Never say something for the sake of saying it. If you don't know, just say you don't know, and I don't know. There you go, confirmed. My bullshit yapping was correct. We love to see that. Oh, well, 3 times, you know, still good. Being score 3 goals sounds washed to me, for real, for real. Only 3, not good enough. Not good enough, yeah? Well, let's have a look now. Let's see what are the stats? How many is say that again, I'll back you, he's been shit. There you go. How many has Rodrigo got? That's the question. Oh, to be fair, he's got 3 goals, 3 assists. Okay, never mind. I'll take that back. That's impressive in 7 games as well, to be fair. He's got a yellow card. What a fraud. How many has the darling Rodrigo got? Yeah? How many? Is it less than Doku and Savio? I know the answer to this. Yeah, that's what I thought. I know he's not playing football because he's on the bench. 0 and 0. That's crazy. My goat, Savio and Doku would never. They would never. Ever. It's crazy. Mad, yeah? Can't even get into the Real Madrid team, and madness. And people were on their knees. They were on their knees. I'm just being naughty. I'm being naughty. Damn right, AP. Damn right. Vinny got a goal and assist against the side with a front 2. Santi Cazorla and Rondon. Yeah, okay, that does not count. That's reasonable. Mbappe's carrying them. That's fair, Spartacus. Good point. Yes, indeed. Based on the last few games, Doc has probably been one of the best wingers in the world, says Kenboy. Big up to Docu, man. He's my boy. That's my goat. That's my goat. It is not. It's only a joke, though, Agent. Like, I don't actually have an agenda. I am being naughty. But here's the thing. When I have, like, an agenda, it's a funny agenda. And I will say it. I'll be like, I'm being naughty here, but, you know, this player stinks of shit. You know, I always let it be known because it's for fun. I don't have like an actual one where I arbitrarily dislike a player and I lie about them or I'm not unfair to them. If I'm unfair to a player, I always say I'm being unfair here, but I don't care. So at least you guys know what my stance is. Right, we have been, oh god, live for over 90 minutes. Okay, that's a bit longer than I was anticipating. That's fine. We didn't really touch on Marmouche, but he's injured, so that's a thing. Someone asked me something about right wing or something I was going to ask. Yeah, who's our best option off the right now? It's hard. If I had to like start, you know, for example, let's say starting someone against Burnley, I'd like Savio to start, to be honest with you. That's what I'd like to see. I think he needs to start because he needs to get like a couple of games together. So I'd go Savio personally because I like Savio. But I also like Bob. Probably Bernardo. No, no. But what I would do if I was playing Bob is I would play Nunes there. So it's actually, for me, it's not actually between Bob and Savio. It's between Savio and Nunes. Based on that. That's how I do them anyway. Joshua, what is going on? What's occurring? What is happening? Shirky, but the question was right now, boss man, and right now Shirky's injured. I'm afraid he's injured right now. That is a shame, and it is a thing. I still can't believe that Pep did that in his Player of the Year season in like the biggest games. I still can't believe he did that. Oh, you know that one weapon that's been like winning us the title? Yeah. Well, how about we just don't use it? How about we just don't use it in either game against Arsenal? Let's not use it in either game against Liverpool. Let's only use it in one of the games against Spurs. Oh, what a surprise. That was the game that we actually won and Foden was one of the best players on the pitch. Crazy. Let's not you do it against Chelsea. Chelsea. Can't remember what happened against United. I think the first game didn't matter because we battered them. Second half of the second game, he played more in the centre. So he made up for it technically. Yeah, we did do it against Real Madrid. And look at that, Musty. He played well. He played well. He did it in a couple games. When he did it in the big games, we didn't lose. When it happened in the big games, we didn't lose. In fact, we lost one game in the entire season where Foden played in midfield. You guys know what that game was? Let me know. Let me know. Took Savia one start to match our best wingers GA tally. Good. I don't know, Naveen. I don't have the answer for you. No, it wasn't Villa away. We didn't lose that game. That wasn't the... Oh, no, wait. No, we did lose that game. But he didn't play in the midfield. He played at left wing. He played left wing that day. The one game... I mean, no. Oh, no. Let's see if you can guess. Let's see if you can guess it. I want to see if you can do it. Have you seen Bar's clips? He seems to be the African Van Dijk. I've not seen enough of Juma Bar. I've not seen enough of him. No, we also lost that season, to be fair, Musty. That was the 1-0. I remember it now. Yeah, exactly, sir. I'm glad you remember it as well. Wasn't Everton away. No, he was great Everton away and we won. Bournemouth. I don't even think we lost against Bournemouth. This is his Player of the Year season, remember. The question was, in the 23-24 season, we lost one game where Foden played in midfield. Only one. Every other game we drew or won. Won the vast majority. What was the one game that we lost? Fuck you, Musty. That was one of Foden's best games. And listen to the Nobbot. Leave a like on the video. It's free and it helps your boy. Exactly, Surrey. And then from that, the game was done, wasn't it? The game was over thereafter. Oh, Brady's got it. Well done. Yes, that was the only game that City lost with Foden playing in the midfield. The only game. Oh, Newcastle, that was a 3-all, I think, must be that year. And even then, did he get an assist for Doku? I know that goal was all Doku, but I think he got an assist I can't remember. But either way, he should have had an assist for the equaliser because he literally broke through United's lines and slipped in Alvarez. Oh, yeah, you're right, Musty. No, yeah, you're right. Yeah, no, it was the 3-2. The 3-2 was Newcastle away. That was Bob's last-minute goal. Let me get my seasons wrong. Yeah, you are correct. The 3-2 win. Yeah, Foden got the assist. And he should have had two. He should have had two. Had Alvarez just finished his dinner in the 90th minute. Somehow missed it. Mental. That was just a little tidbit. Right, we're going to shoot off there. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Really hope you've enjoyed today's stream. I'm now going to go away and record the Burnley tactical preview. So make sure to watch that. I'll be going over how I think City will set up, how I want City to set up, what formation I think we could use, that sort of thing. Thank you so much to everyone for all of your beautiful support. I'm going to get the Hall of Fame on the screen because you are all lovely, lovely people. If you would like to support the channel, like all of these beautiful gorgeous souls that are pushed up on your screen right now. You can do so by clicking the join button. You get lots of lovely things. I need to get... from next week, I'm going to try to do one exclusive video every single week for the members. So I'm going to try to make, depending on the tier, there will be 4 exclusive videos a month for members. That's what I'm going to try to do and try to commit to. So 1 exclusive video a week. So if you want exclusive videos, if you want fun little chat perks like having your name glow, there's no one here right now, but your name glows. If you want to support your boy, click that join button and it'll be a lovely time. I'll be back tomorrow for a post-mortem. There won't be a watch-along because... It's Burnley tomorrow. Oh, sorry, talk about the games, Spartacus, sorry. I won't be doing a watch-along. I will be at the game. There already is an FPL league if you want to join it. The code's in the Discord server. And I'm going to try to do it Fenway because I want it to be 2 exclusives for the lowest tier, and then I want the like Nobini Ultra, and I want Fnatic Ultra because they pay more money. I want them to have something, so I feel like maybe they could get like another couple of videos. We'll see how we get on. Oh, LB's live soon. Oh yeah, good point. I didn't even realize that. Good spot, Ultimate. Very good spot. We'll do that right now. Is he on his main channel, Ultimate? Is the podcast coming back? From on my end, I'd be fine to do it. Gasky is just incredibly busy right now in his personal life, so he's not. I don't know if he can really commit to doing a weekly thing, given his personal commitments at a time that suits me as well. So I don't. The answer is I don't know. I'd like it to come back, but it does all depend on Gasky, to be honest with you, because again, this isn't his job, so it wouldn't be fair for me to, take time out of his day, etc. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I would like to do something. I would like to have like guests come on. Like, I don't know, maybe like a. Doesn't have to just be Gasky, does it? It could be like, maybe like, I don't know, maybe he comes on once a month, and maybe I do 3 podcasts with someone else, like LB or an Arsenal fan or a Chelsea fan or a United fan or a Spurs fan or whatever. I don't know. I don't really know what I want to do, but that's something I'll have a think about. This is going to redirect you to LB, so make sure to stick around. I like the concept of a City United podcast. Yeah, so do I. I just don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Do we want to talk about other things? I just don't know. Not sure. Thank you guys, as always. I'll see you next time.